Hey everybody, welcome back to Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
And we are back with another dynamic duo of a podcast. How's that?
Of gardening. Gardening inspiration.
How was that?
And we're joined with our furry companions, Gilder and Brooke.
Gilder and Brooks have joined us. Do you know they're getting to be regulars here on the old podcast? Just because we don't want to.
They're regulars no matter where we go.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty. If you guys are ever looking for dogs who will cling to you.
That's right.
Like
glue.
Like glue, and are definitely people dogs. The Boykin Spaniel.
People, so much.
Highly recommend.
People dogs,
yeah,
yes. They're funny and witty.
Funny, witty, and they are
devilish.
Do not like to be anywhere near any by themselves anywhere. No, you have to walk them out to go bathroom out in the yard. They don't want to go by themselves. And they're 6 years old, so it's not a new thing.
I know. Some people will say we may have trained them that way, and you could be correct. That happens inadvertently. Perhaps we have trained them, but
maybe
it's okay.
We like it.
We like it that way.
We like it. So let's dive into the podcast, Mary.
Absolutely.
What do we always start with? Let's see. What's new in the garden?
What's new in the garden? It's been beautiful these past few days. It's been really gorgeous. We did have some strong winds previously over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And, but everything seems to be fine. We do have a few plants that did not come back after our sharp freeze. We may have lost a star jasmine in the garden. I'm waiting to see.
Okay.
But, things are really starting to come alive out there. The red bud this year is blooming.
It is. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yes, I am so excited with you. I think we might have gotten a few blooms last year, but we didn't previously get any flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And this year it does seem to be happy.
It looks like it. I know, just overnight it's kind of exploded. So, Yay!
A gorgeous pinky purple. And they come out on the bare stems, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice.
And Jeff, we have a lot of seedlings emerging in the kitchen garden.
We do, especially all those onions we planted.
The onions.
They're going crazy out there.
They're like about, what do you think, maybe 7 or 8 inches
tall? They are.
Wow.
They've popped up. And I think we even have a couple of those potatoes.
The potatoes are sprouting. They have beautiful leaves. A potato is just an ornamental plant wherever you want to grow it. Even if you put it like as a edging or something in your front garden, it's got a beautiful growth habit.
Okay.
Yeah, they are quite pretty.
Yeah, I'm still don't quite understand how that one works, but that's just me.
What don't you
put a potato in the ground and then it sprouts. What is it sprouting?
Well, the potato itself is like the energy storage unit for the plant.
And it's going to be a plant.
And it's going to grow roots from that tuber and grow leaves, and it's going to use its energy to kickstart the plant to make more potatoes.
Well, I am. This one's got me.
You're intrigued.
I can't wrap my head around the whole potato thing. Got to be honest with you.
Well, we're not growing them we're not hilling them up. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And I expect that I'm aiming for small potatoes. I'm not looking to get a huge old baking potato.
Yeah. Okay.
In our climate, but
right.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
And the leaves are just coming out so pretty. They're like the ones that are coming out right now are kind of like a deep purpley striped.
Yeah.
That go out into a green. Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Everything's actually really taking off. The stuff that it was like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever we did those.
Yes.
They're really, the onions are crazy.
The potatoes a little bit longer, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, we have our lettuces are beginning to sprout. And one of the things I was worried about is that the lettuces, you really sow them on the surface of the soil because they need the light to germinate. And of course, I was worried the birds were going to come and pick them out. And they may have taken some, but they didn't take them all. So we are having plenty of sprouts.
Nice.
And I noticed that Swiss chard is coming up really good.
Yeah,
too.
you've been advertising that Swiss chard every time the kids come over. You're really big on the Swiss chard.
I have them out there. Oh my goodness, that reminds me. We were in the little kitchen garden, and my daughter was back there with me, and all of a sudden she said, "Mom, is that asparagus growing up through your chair?" And like overnight, the spears of the asparagus got to where they were like 2 feet long.
They were huge.
They were huge. But I went ahead and cut them out anyways. And we did have some smaller ones that had come up. And so I cut those, and they were delicious. They were so tender.
The other ones were like ridiculously large.
They actually came up through the slats.
I know, they were huge. They were
That was amazing.
1.5 feet, maybe?
Yes.
They were big.
Yes. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. So, second harvest of asparagus buds. Jeffy, have you noticed any new birds on our
I haven't seen any new. We've seen a lot of birds. There's a lot of birds out there. We have a lot of feeders out there now, nice and stocked, so they're happy. They've come back. I haven't seen any new ones yet, though.
But I do think this isn't a new bird for us, but I do think that we noticed a yellow-rumped warbler the other day, which I get real excited about.
Yeah, I think we had those, and our little bird buddy is still letting us know what's out there.
I know. That is the cutest thing.
It is still. We still like it.
Oh, my goodness.
We're still liking it.
Yes.
But nothing new. I think it's been kind of the same old gang coming in, but there's a lot of them.
It is the same old gang. And another bird that we had that came back this year is a barn swallow. Some people have a negative opinion about them. Some people have positive. I know that they eat so much of the mosquitoes. They're really good at monitoring your mosquito population. So I don't know. I feel a little back and forth about it, but they're kind of messy, and they do nest in the same place every year. So if you disturb the nest, you disturb that family, and they won't lay eggs.
They always like to do it like right above a front door or somewhere like that.
They absolutely love to get in under the eaves.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about our area is they nest in the overpasses on the highway and things like that. But good and bad, but I'm happy to see them. They're very pretty as they swoop in the dusk.
Yeah.
Yeah. This week in the garden, I got all the amendments put out in the front yard and on the kitchen veggie patch. And so I used the MicroLife, little all-purpose fertilizer, but I did use MicroLife specifically for acid-loving plants that goes on the hollies and the roses and things like that. And so that actually was a pretty good job. That took me a whole morning to get out there and do all that.
I know. You've been busy this last week out in the garden.
Yeah, we've been pretty busy.
You've been busy this week in the garden.
And the other thing that we did this week is we have one crepe myrtle in the front of our house on a corner. And so he's struggling. He really got damaged severely in that bad freeze that we had in 2021. And he seemed like he recovered. We actually had to cut him level. And he seemed as though he sort of recovered. But towards the end of last year, I started noticing a decline and that the bark was kind of getting really dark on him. So I went out there and inspected him real good, and I think he has a scale insect problem. So this year, I've been applying a horticultural oil for scale insects. and, they'll suck the life out of a plant.
Mm-hmm.
And they're generally, what you're trying to do is to suffocate the bug, basically. And you don't want to hurt any other bug in your yard. Yeah, you don't want to hurt any of the birds or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what you could do is you can use like a soybean oil, which is basically your general vegetable oil that you buy like at the grocery store. And you mix that with a little bit of dish soap to kind of emulsify it in the water. And you don't want a heavy amount. In a gallon, I might use, a cup of oil and then a tablespoon of your dish soap. You put the dish soap in last, or else you'll have a big bubble mess. And then I put in clove oil and tea tree oil. And I've been out there spraying them down, and I'm really trying to get it nice and wet. I noticed today that it looks as though the scale insects have deceased.
Nice.
On the tree. I have my fingers crossed. I don't know if this is going to help us or not. But anyway, we're going to give it a try.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My main focus this year for that specific tree is to build up the biology around his roots so that maybe he'll come out of this.
Okay.
Whatever's going on.
Good job.
Yeah. Always something to keep track of.
Hey, Mary, just for that, I got to give you a little applause.
Well, thank you. What a surprise.
Good job on that one.
Thank you. So that's what I have for what we've been doing in the garden this week.
Very good. I don't think I have anything to add. I've been a helper a little bit, and
absolutely.
But you've been the main one out there this week, kind of doing your thing.
Doing my thing. The citrus trees look as though they're doing well.
Yeah, everything looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. It was nice when we had the grandkids over to help us clean everything up.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
Giant job. That was a giant job.
Yeah, we'll keep them in reserve when we need them. All right. So I know you have a couple of topics this week. So what's first up on your agenda?
Oh, I'm excited. I have to tell everybody. I'm super excited about this one. We ordered 2 Garden in Minutes grid systems. And what this product is, it's a watering system, but it is in a square foot pattern. So you can water your garden, and the way that it waters is not like a soaker hose where you're only going to be right next to the base of the plant, which I love a good soaker hose too. Don't get me wrong. But the water comes through these little pinholes in the grid system, and it makes water evenly available across the entirety of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And so that helps your soil biology to maintain good life force and things like that. But anyway, we ordered 2 of them, and we already had 2. And Jeff was my mastermind here. We calculated the distances between the beds. We did as best as we could figure out how to do. And Jeff put in the order. And so how did you figured out,
if you go on their website, they kind of tell you how to, whatever your configuration is, you can order. But the key is they all connect together. That's what we wanted. So we wanted one hose coming from one water source into the first bed, and then we wanted to be able to connect that to the other 3. So all 4 beds, when we turn the water on, is the water's hitting all 4 beds, so they're all connected. You have the ability to turn, bed off or on.
Yes, that is very helpful.
And we the ones we got were for the raised beds that we had, and I think they're like 17 inches tall.
Mm-hmm, they are.
But you can buy different configurations, and so it's very easy to put together. Right? basically you went out there, Mary, and you put them, you put them where you wanted on the bed.
What I did was they come separated, but they're not confusing. They go, A goes to B like that. And so I had 3 sections to put together on ours, and I dipped the little guy in some warm water, the little end, and then I pushed it together. You really need to either let it warm up in the sun or maybe use some warm water, because otherwise you'll be struggling to get it to go together. But once they're together. They're not coming apart.
As we found out.
Yes, we did find out.
Make sure you know what you're doing.
Yes, that is true. So that's good because they don't leak.
They do not leak. And it's really cool. So we ordered the hoses. We measured the size of hoses that we needed to be able to connect them all. We ordered those, and then all the little parts to connect.
And the hoses are actually food safe type hoses.
Yeah, the hoses, I'm surprised. They actually were really nice. So we've got it all set up. Mary put them all out there on the beds that she wanted. We got the hoses all set up. We got it all connected. I mean, it took, in all honesty, less than an hour to get everything done. I mean,
well, we did go back today and we put on some tape.
Some of the plumber's tape, to
help, make sure we don't have any unexpected leaks and things like that.
Right. But other than that,
tested it out.
It looks like it works pretty good.
And the icing on the cake is that you ordered us a timer.
I did. I got us a watering timer. So we've got it. So we've got a small hose coming from our faucet outside. I've got the timer in between that and another hose that connects to the Garden and Men's Grid system. And then we're able to get that programmed. And so it'll automatically, come on when Mary wants. And I think the one thing we found, especially for those beds, is you don't need to leave it on for like 30 minutes.
No.
It's just for a few minutes a day.
Right.
Kind of gets it, because it's a lot of, the grid is pretty big. It's like 3x5, I think. Ours
is a 3.5, 3x5.
Yeah.
But our bed is rounded at the ends, so it's designed for a rounded corner bed.
Right.
So, yeah.
But there's so many little pinholes in those guys when it's watering, so it pushes out quite a bit of water. So we've got it all set up.
One of the things that was really nice that I didn't know before we ordered ours, when you order your size for the rounded beds, then at the corners where you don't have the little grids, they have pinholes on opposite sides so that your corner is also watered.
Yeah, nice.
That is nice.
Yeah, Mary's very excited about this. So we've got it set up. We've got it on a timer. I think we're going to run it every couple days for a few minutes a day. And
as long, yesterday was almost 90. So, yeah.
Nice.
Well, years ago, we had visited in a community garden near a school here, and we're talking, I think it was like August, maybe early September. And that is when our area bakes like it's a giant oven. And so this community garden had their peppers on a drip system, and they ran it, just a little bit at a time. Oh, those peppers were so beautiful, and I've never gotten them out of my mind. So that's like my goal. I have a goal that I want to grow luscious, gorgeous peppers. And so that's in our future.
I think the system will help because the thing with peppers, when I grew them last year, if you don't water them, especially in the heat, they die pretty quick. And, I was forgetting to go out there and hit them every once in a while. And so this will be a good system for it.
I know. Yay, we're going to be good.
Mary did her own clapping.
Excited. And Jeff did an exceptional job in masterminding. Oh, he figured out the timer. Let me tell you something. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
And it was just, and so it was just a timer off Amazon. Nothing. Yeah. It was just like their best-selling one. It got good reviews. I mean, let's be honest, there's not a lot to them. It is digital, which is kind of nice.
We have used manual timers in the past, and I think our lights
we did use a manual timer
are on
for
a
that.
manual timer, which works fine.
Yeah.
But this, on the outside, sometimes it doesn't work as well. You bump into it, you dislodge it, you change it. And so
I think this is going to work good. So far, we got it set up, and we'll monitor it, and Mary's a happy Mary bird at this point.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, cool.
I'm thrilled. And so, did you have any?
That's all I had on that. I'm excited. You're excited. We're going to check it out. And I'm all for peppers, so good on you.
Me too. I really can't wait to grow them.
Yeah, so I know that you had another topic for us today.
I do. Well, through the years, we've gathered what I wanted to explain why I went down this path. And for years, we've gathered seeds, and I'm usually very, what can you say, parsimonious in using our seeds. And so over the time, we've collected a lot of flower seeds. And, oh, brother. Okay. So I thought I need to just go ahead and plant these and use them, get them out of the drawer and into the ground. Because you got me that beautiful seed.
I did. I did get you that.
But I have such a wealth of seeds. I have more than can fit in there.
Wow.
But anyways, okay. So I know that currently there is a trend going on in your home decor for maximalism. And so that really doesn't mean like having just having things everywhere. It means having what you will enjoy using and not worrying about having it be completely sparse.
Right.
And so your garden, I figure a garden can be the same thing. And I looked up a maximalist garden, and surprisingly, I found a lot of information about it, which I was super excited about. Yeah. Most of the maximalist discussions that I found, they're kind of steering you towards having a tropical look to your yard, which is amazing. And I support that. I mean, here in our area, I think banana trees grow well. Elephant ears grow well in the right location. You can definitely do that. I just don't have that right now. And so we're going to use the seeds that we have to create a maximalist.
Okay.
And some of the discussion is good no matter what kind of garden you have. Some of the discussions talks about having a variety of layers in your garden. And one of the things, though, for a maximalist aspect, they talked about having a very tall background layer of shrubbery and things like that so that you have a more enclosed feel to it. So that it's like your little private getaway or something like that. And, of course, I don't have that in my yard just yet. We have a very nice border, and I'm happy about it. But what that made me think of is that they call a background shrub layer where you use a variety of shrubs, not several of the same shrubs in a row. They call that a harlequin border, and that appeals to me very much. Okay. So I am always thinking about what I'm going to plant next. And, I think that would be really fun, that I would like to give that a try, is just continue to add shrubs. And I don't need to add them into a large shrub right away. We always talk about this. But, I think it works okay if you try small. Sometimes small plants root out better and take hold and grow more strongly. Anyways, so I was thinking over the course of the year, I could plant 1 or 2 at a time and have a harlequin border in the background. So layering is a really good general advice. And texture, having a variety of leaf textures so that it will draw you into the garden to explore more. And that is good advice no matter what you do, right? Cactus gardening, arid gardening, xeriscape, it doesn't matter. And then one thing about a maximalist garden that I know Jeff will really take hold of and enjoy is to use art.
Oh, I do like
to
garden
introduce art in your garden, but it's not about introducing willy-nilly. I guess some people could introduce willy-nilly and make it work, but the articles were saying to strategically use your art. And so as I think about our garden, I'm wanting to use all the seeds that we have. We have, oh my goodness.
Lots of seeds.
Zinnia. We have cosmos.
We do have a lot of seeds.
We do have a lot of seeds. So I think starting out, I think we should do a mixture of a prairie garden with a maximalist garden.
Okay.
But I did want to say, in the maximalist style, if you're thinking about layers and you're thinking about using these flower seeds, they say to go bold, go really bold, like giant sunflowers, go hollyhocks, find striking plants that are going to come out at you. Hibiscus. A hollyhock is similar to a hibiscus. Canna lilies and tall, graceful, strong color plants. I think we should look for some cannas.
Okay.
Now that we're going to use all our seeds. But anyway, you want to create your boldness. They are telling you, and this is for a designer. I can really see a designer. I don't know if I could do it this year, but they said to think about your color palette. And some colors, they recede, like blues and violets and things. They recede into the background and some colors jump out at you. And so you want to create a flow through your garden using your color palette, which I know Jeff loves red, orange, yellows. He loves white in the garden. And I love reds. I love pinks. And I'm quite partial to the blue salvias and things like that, So we're going to have a cacophony sort of garden.
Let's get some color out there.
But if you have your colors too interspersed and conflicting with one another, it doesn't really look good either. But this is going to be an experiment, I think. So also a maximalist garden wants you to use a laid-back approach to your efforts during the year. And that's kind of like a prairie garden, too. You're looking to have your plants go in, and you're not going to have to be out there tending to each little thing, every single day or whatever. We have Bermuda. I know that's always going to be, I have to just keep working with the soil so I can impede the Bermuda. But I think that's what I want to be the only blocking thing in the garden. So try to make your plantings where you can really enjoy them. One of the aspects is to create a room for you to sit there and enjoy. Make sure you have a place to sit in your garden and take it all in. I'm getting very excited because of the things that are merging right now. The larkspur is coming back. That's always one of my favorites. And so look for seasonal interest. We're going to kind of throw the spaghetti on the wall and see if it sticks.
I like it.
For this time.
Yes, for this year. But it should be cool. Year. Should be a lot of good colors.
And this applies to me because I really love containers. I am a big fan of container gardening because you don't have to bend over as much. You can have it, But you could use a container garden, like if you only have a balcony or a very small yard, you can use the same principles in containers and have your layering, have your variety, and go bold, they say, go big.
I like it.
We are having a few shady areas in the yard, surprisingly, this year. And I did think I might look for things that grow very nicely in the shade. Maybe we could incorporate some caladiums this year, but I want to get all our seeds dispersed before we move forward.
And it's funny because I will let everyone know. So Mary set all the seeds out and has said, Jeff, when you go out, just take some with you.
Take some with you.
And we're going to ask our daughter when she goes out in the garden to do the same.
We could do a little walk around the border, sprinkle
sprinkle some seeds. So it'll be fun. I think it's going to be fun. I like the little prairie we made was really cool. So this will kind of be like that a little bit.
Yes, it'll definitely be like that. And so I do have our pocket prairie system, in ongoing.
Nice.
Yeah. Very good. So that is your maximalist garden.
Not minimalist. Now we've gone from minimalist to maximalist. Isn't that funny? It just changes every few years. The way it is.
People need a
Fashions
refresh.
change.
Fashions change. But also your maximalist garden is truly about bringing in pollinators, bringing in, all the different variety of life that is in your garden. Put fennel in amongst all these plants. Have a place for the butterflies. Have a place for cocoons.
Nice.
It really is about all that.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun to watch everything grow, see what takes, and see what pops up.
I'm excited. And so that is your maximalist garden.
Well, thank you, Mary.
Now,
do we know what's coming up next? Yeah. It's time for Jeff's Corner. So, Mary, I have to ask you. I know you and I, we were traveling and we were listening to NPR, one of the NPR stations, and there was a very cool story about how trees communicate.
Oh my.
Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. And there was a gentleman on there that was kind of went through, how they communicate, which is totally kind of blew my mind. I didn't even realize they did that. But I was just going to do a little quick.
I love this.
A little subject. Quickie on that let you know trees definitely do communicate with each other. They mainly and primarily communicate through the underground fungal network and chemical signals that are in the air. So there's 3 or 4 main ways they do it. There's the mycorrhizal network. Mycorrhizal network. And it is affectionately known as the Wood Wide Web. And
I love that. I never heard that before. Whoa.
So they're connected through the, tell me again. Mycorrhizal fungi, which form a vast underground network. The fungi help the trees exchange nutrients, water, and it also allows for warning signals to be sent. And older, more established, what we call mother trees, support the younger ones by sending them sugars and nutrients,
which is true.
Remember, we were listening, and it was just amazing how that.
It's astonishing how quickly.
It is. It was actually really, really cool. They also communicate through chemical signals in the air. And so when trees are attacked by insects or diseases, they release a volatile organic compound. So they'll kind of do that. And then neighboring trees detect those and they prepare their own defenses. So they'll produce a bitter tasting chemical to repel a herbivore.
Oh,
Isn't that cool?
that is very cool.
It's pretty amazing. And then they also have the electrical signals within the roots and trunks, which I think they were covered in that NPR talk we had.
Mm-hmm.
So they have slow electrical impulses that help them respond to changes in the environment. So it's not as fast as an animal nerve, but it does allow them to play a role in the communications of internal communications. And then there's root communication. So some trees can detect and recognize their own kin through root systems. So
that is astonishing.
That's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
And so they may share their nutrients more readily with their relatives and so they compete less aggressively. It's pretty amazing. But here's some things that I found that I don't think that were on there. Here's some kind of examples of how trees communicate. So the acacia trees and giraffes. So giraffes eat from the acacia trees.
Yes.
So in Africa, the acacia trees release ethylene gas when a giraffe starts eating their leaves. So the nearby trees detect the gas and respond by increasing toxic tannins in their leaves, making them less tasty. And so the giraffes have learned to avoid this by walking upwind to trees that haven't received a warning yet.
Whoa.
How's that?
Wow.
Is that nuts?
That is cool.
There's also the mother trees that we talked about help their young saplings. So the mother trees share the nutrients with the younger trees through the underground fungal network. Mm-hmm. So there's studies that have shown that Douglas firs send carbon and nutrients to smaller saplings, especially in shaded areas where they struggle to photosynthesize.
Wow.
And if a mother tree is dying, it can send a last gift of nutrients to support the next generation.
Isn't that amazing? So the tree will, basically the tree will shoot out sugars that it's the exact sugar. If they need a specific mineral or whatever, they can send out the exact sugar and that tells the soil microbiome, I need this. I need you to go out. And what happens is they eat that and they poop it out and the tree can absorb what they need, which is amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes, it is wonderful. It's like magical, really.
It is. And who knew all this was going on? Here's a pine tree insect defense, which is an airborne and root communication.
Okay.
So pine trees that are under attack by bark beetles release distress signals in the form of chemical compounds. Nearby trees detect these signals and boost their resin production, making it harder for beetles to burrow into their bark. And so it's like a coordinated defense that helps limit the spread of beetle infestations. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty amazing.
We talked about this. The trees recognize their family. So trees, species like beech and pine, can recognize their own offspring through the root system. So they'll, as we said, provide more nutrients to their kin and limit competition while being less generous to their unrelated trees nearby, taking care of their family. Well,
we all know that an oak tree will stop other things from growing around it in an effort to protect itself and its offspring too.
Yep.
And it does use tannins from the leaves to do that.
And then the last one I have is, and dying trees that warn others, they do it via the wood wide web. So when a tree is under extreme stress like disease or drought, it can send a final warning signal through the fungal network. And this helps the nearby trees prepare defenses or adjust their water usage before they suffer the same fate.
Oh.
Is that cool or what?
It is cool.
It's, I remember you and I had listened to that podcast and it was just amazing. It was a long time ago. I can't remember where it was, and I was just shocked that trees communicate. You knew a lot of it, but some of this, who would know about like the giraffes, right? That's crazy.
That is super.
Or the
interesting.
the beetles and stuff like that. So they it's just a constant thing that's always going on out there, which I thought would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I applaud your subject, Jeffrey.
Wait,
I
did
love
you?
it.
What did you say?
I applaud.
Having fun with the sound effects today. Okay,
I think you should keep the sound effects. I like
I
them.
like sound effects too. Well, that is all I had for Jeff's Corner. Till next week. All right.
Coming back to us next week. Always a surprise.
Always a surprise.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I love learning about that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty interesting too. And at least give everybody a little taste. And if they want to go look, there's a lot of information. There's been a lot of studies on it. There's a lot of folks that have done studies on it. So it's pretty interesting stuff.
I will have to go back and review some of my material before I talk about it, but there is a very large fungal mass, I think in the Northeast, and there was a test done if they injected a dye into a specific tree, how long would it take the dye to reach the roots of this? And I have to go back and review what I learned, and then I'll come back and talk about it again. And it's astonishing.
Yeah, no, it is. It's actually nature. Nature is pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, it is amazing. I'm all about that with you.
Absolutely. All right. What else you got for us?
Well, looking ahead for this upcoming week, this is a really good time to get one of those soil tests that we've talked about before. Some people that are hardcore veggie growers and things like that, they might do a spring test and a fall test. But yeah, if you have an area of your yard that you haven't tested for a while, get a soil test and see what's going on with it. This is a super good time here in Central Texas to plant your shrubs and your trees. I think March the 4th might have been our expected last frost date. You kind of got to keep an eye on the weather, but I think we're rounded the corner now.
I think it's 90 today, so I think we're okay. I don't think we're freezing anymore.
Oh, man. This is a really good time to get out there if you want to add ornamental grasses to your yard. This is great. They could get their roots established before it gets to be super hot weather. And like I was discussing with the Maximalist Garden, we're going to be seeding out our annuals right now. And probably what I'm intending to do is seed some now, maybe a couple weeks from now, seed some more, just keep going, cosmos, zinnias, and other seeds that are coming into the warm season for us. If you're up north, oh my goodness, you could start getting ready to have all your beautiful pansies and geraniums and everything. We're kind of getting past that already here in March. So we're going to start looking to our warm season annual flowers and things like that. Other than that, it's perfect time right now to get in your spring soil amendments. And I choose to use Miracle Grow is what I'm using right now. And not Miracle Grow. Please pardon me. Not Miracle Grow.
Not Miracle Grow.
Microlife. I misspoke. I do like Microlife because it's sort of a slow release, and it's made with natural ingredients, and it doesn't burn your plants and things like that. And it helps to enrich the soil life in your garden.
Yeah, nice.
So I really do rely on them. Pardon me, I misspoke.
Oh, boy. I think we're okay. You corrected it. Okay.
And so coming up in this week, those are some of the things that we're going to be doing.
Well, very nice. I thought this was a fun one. I like that you talked about, like the maximalist garden. I'm looking forward to the maximalist garden where you just.
I know you like that.
I do kind of like that. I kind of like that.
You like the energy.
I like a lot of color. I'm a color guy out there. So we'll see how that goes. We'll keep you guys updated.
One of the really good things about trying to do a maximalist garden and trying to garden throughout the year, if you can, here in our area, we sort of can, is to keep a living root growing in the soil so that you could take advantage of the soil microbiome like Jeff was talking about earlier. You want to keep that alive and living and growing. So that's what we're going to aim to do.
Well, very good. Well, everyone, as always, we appreciate you guys joining us here at Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. We're back. I think we hit this one on time. We were one day off last week, but we made it here this time.
I was astonished. I couldn't even believe that.
We're back on our Wednesday schedule. But again, thanks for joining us, and we hope that you guys get out there in the garden and enjoy yourselves.
Happy gardening, everyone.
Happy gardening, and we will see you here next week, same time, same place, here at Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. Bye.